Satyam Naranjeva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. So today's verse is from Canto 3, chapter 33, and verse number is 12. I'll just try to share the screen. Is it visible now, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So 3.33.12 Maitreya Uvacha Iti Pradarshaya Bhagwan Satim Tamat Manogatim Swamatra Brahmavadinya Kapilo Numato Yayo. Maitreya Uvacha, Maitreya said, Iti, thus, Pradarshaya, after instructing, Bhagwan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Satim, venerable, Tam, that, Atmanaha, of self-realization, Gatim, path, Swamatra, from his mother, Brahmavadinya, self-realized, Kapilaha, Lord Kapila, Anumantaha, took permission, Yayao, left. Translation. Sri Maitreya said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Kapila, after instructing his beloved mother, took permission from her and left his home, his mission having been fulfilled. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The mission of the appearance of Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of Kapila was to distribute the transcendental knowledge of Sankhya philosophy, which is full of devotional service. Having imparted that knowledge to his mother and through his mother to the world, Kapila Deva had no more need to stay at home. So he took permission from his mother and left. Apparently, he left home for spiritual realization, although he had nothing to realize spiritually because he himself is the person to be spiritually realized. Therefore, this is an example set by the Supreme Personality of Godhead while acting like an ordinary human being so that others might learn from him. He could, of course, have stayed with his mother, but he indicated that there was no need to stay with the family. It is best to remain alone as a brahmachari, sannyasi, or vanaprastha and cultivate Krishna consciousness throughout one's whole life. Those who are unable to remain alone are given license to live in householder life with wife and children, not for sense gratification, but for cultivation of Krishna consciousness. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gananjana Salakhaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanyam Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deva Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishe Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So in continuation with the previous classes, this is my first opportunity to serve Srimad Bhagavatam by the kindness shown towards me by His Grace Rameswar Kanai Prabhuji. So I'm not in any way qualified, just like Prahlad Maharaj, when asked by Narsimhadev, or when he wanted to glorify Narsimhadev, he said that I am born in a demoniac family and I am in no way qualified to glorify the Lord. So it is indeed a great honor for me to try to purify my consciousness by trying to serve Srimad Bhagavatam. So it is said in the Shastra that Yan Nam Shruti Matrena Puman Bhavati Nirmalaha. By hearing the names of the Lord, one gets purified. So as an attempt to purify myself, I'll try to serve. So this verse is spoken by Maitreya to Vidura, and it is in continuation of the teachings of Lord Kapila, wherein after having described the path of self-realization to his mother Devahuti, Mother Devahuti felt gratified and very much pleased and honored by having gained the insight of Lord Kapila's message. As we can recap and recollect from the previous verses, and as far as we have understood, that Kardam Muni was very intent and keen on taking the path of self-realization after he had begot daughters from Mother Devahuti. Kardam Muni was son of Brahma, and he was ordered by Lord Brahma to beget progeny. But in order to do it in a way that the Supreme Lord is pleased, he undertook austerities to please the Lord, and thereby, even though he was not very happy, but still, as a matter of duty, he asked the Supreme Lord to kindly give him a life partner so that the order of Lord Brahma could be carried out. Ultimately, Swayambhuva Manu gave his daughter Devahuti to Kardam Muni, and she served Kardam Muni very sincerely, even though she was born in a royal family, a princess, and she served Kardam Muni very sincerely, and she became very weak, emaciated. And when Kardam Muni saw that his wife is very sincerely, very honestly serving him, he granted a benediction that he would definitely enjoy bodily pleasures and sense gratification, for which he constructed a palatial building in which they enjoyed sense gratification for years together. But after the birth of 9 daughters, Kardam Muni had a condition that immediately as the progeny are generated, he would immediately leave the householder life to take the path of self-realization. So after when Kardam Muni was about to leave, Mother Devahuti was quite distressed, and even though she was smiling, but she felt a lot of pain in the heart. She said that, oh my Lord, I have been solidly cheated by the Lord's illusionary energy. Even though I got your association, you are such a great soul. You are a Brahman realized and a fully dedicated person towards self-realization. But I could get your association just for bodily pleasures. I never considered the importance of your association towards self-realization. Having understood the mindset of Mother Devahuti, Kardam Muni told that she need not worry, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead would himself take birth from her womb and would definitely pave the path of self-realization. Mother Devahuti also presented her request to Kardam Muni that, my Lord, since you are leaving, and I have been thoroughly engaged in sense gratification, it is your duty to give me fearlessness. This is our question in day-to-day life. We also want fearlessness, because every day and moment we are quite anxious, and because of forgetting our own real constitutional position, we are always under stress. In the mode of Rajoguna, Lord Krishna in Gita says, Chintam aparemeyam cha pralayantam upashritaha. He says that right till the time of birth till death, we are all anxious, aparemeyam, immeasurable. We have so many anxieties. So same feeling we can see in the petition of Mother Devahuti. And then she inquired the path of self-realization from Lord Kapila. He told that, my Lord, I have fallen into the path of ignorance because of too much sense gratification. Kindly show me the path of knowledge. And then in the previous verses, as we have seen, that Lord Kapila describes the process and the path of Sankhya Yoga, or the analytical study of body, mind, and soul, and how different living entities are wandering in this material universe just to satisfy the insatiable lust. Analena dushpurena cha, Lord says in Gita, 3rd chapter, Analena dushpurena. We have so many desires in our mind, and just to fulfill them, we have been accepting one bodies after the other. So to open the path of self-realization and to dispel the ignorance, Lord Kapila describes his Sankhya Yoga, we have seen how he describes the glory of devotional service, that by that consciousness by which one can come to the path of self-realization is called the divine consciousness, and the consciousness which keeps the person into bound to the material modes is called a conditioned state. Then he tells about the qualities of a sadhu. We have seen he also described the glories of association of devotees in getting out of this ocean of nescience that we have seen. Also, he described the path of the analytical path, where he describes how the Lord's energy are acting from unmanifest to manifest, Mahat Tattva, different 24 elements of nature. Then he has described the path of living entities in the womb of mother. And ultimately, he describes that one must surrender to Supreme Personality of Godhead, and this comes by chanting of the holy names of the Lord. So, if we critically analyze the position of Mother Devahuti, initially, when she met, she had not received the knowledge from Lord Kapila. She was saying that I have been cheated by illusionary energy and I am fearful. You must give me some fearlessness. And what happened after Lord Kapila described the path of Sankhya Yoga? In this, prior to this verse, 2-3 verse, in 7th verse, she says the glories of the holy name of the Lord. Yen namadheya shavana anukirtanat, yat pravanat, yat smaranat api kvachis, swado api swadhyaya savanaya kalpate, kuta punate bhagwanu darshanat. She says that the Lord's holy names are so powerful that one immediately becomes eligible enough to take part in Vedic sacrifices, even though he's born in the family of dog eaters. And furthermore, she tells that aho bata swa pachate gariya yat jibhagre vartate nam tubhyam tepus tapaste juhubu shashnu arya and brahmani uchur grahananti nam yete. So she got fearlessness by accepting the Lord's name and getting fixed up in the path of devotional service. So in this verse, we can see that there are certain important points that we can ponder upon. In this verse, it is said, Pradarshaya, the first word that is to be kept in mind is Pradarshaya. That is, Prabhupada writes the synonym as instructing. So, all this change of heart and the clearing of the contamination in the heart happens by a superior authority instructing us. Because since time immemorial, we have been into the ocean of nescience. We don't know what is correct, what is wrong. And that's why we concoct something and ultimately create a mess out of it. So till someone instructs us, a superior authority who is a Mahajan, one who instructs us, we will not be able to find the path of self-realization. It is said in Mahabharata that Mahajano yena gata sapantha, that whatever way Mahajan follow or show, that is the path. Yad yad achariti sreshthas tattad evataro jana, sa yad pramanam kurutate lokastad anuvartate. 3.21 Bhagavad Gita. So whatever path Mahajan tell us, that is the way that we should follow. We should not try to speculate or try to take instructions from those people who are not in Bhakti Yoga. So by taking the lead examples from the Mahajan, we can understand the path of self-realization in a more confident way. The Mahajan, as we know, Bhagavatam describes 12 of them. So that is the path. And it is also said in Mahabharata that Tarko apratishta shrutiyo vibhinnam. We cannot speculate. It is not fixed. I may something, somebody else may say something about dharma. I may have an opinion about what is the correct way of self-realization. Somebody has some other way. So that is called Tarko apratishtam shrutiyo vibhinnam. Na yas asav yas rasho rasi yas matau na bhinnam. There are so many people have different opinion. Dharmam tattvam guhitam.
Can you stop sharing, Prabhuji?
Yes.
So that we can see you and hear it.
So it is said in that same verse that dharman tattvam guhitam nihitam, that the codes of religion are very secret, very difficult and very confidential. Nobody else can understand. So that's why Lord is telling that it's told when Maitreya tells in this verse that is pradarshaya, it is shown by the Lord. and those who are liberated, only they can show. Just like I still remember in my and then I used to go to my father, and he was an engineer by occupation, and he was quite.
I don't know whether it's me. For 1 minute we stuck.
Okay, am I audible now?
Yeah, very much, Prabhu.
Okay. So that's what I was giving an example that many times, I mean, in childhood, I used to get stuck up in mathematics, but then when my father showed me how to do things clearly, I could come out of it. So that's what is being told in this verse, that when a superior authority shows by his example, things become clear and more easy and practical to follow. So that's why Lord is telling here, it is being told that Pradarshaya. Okay. The second point is we should see with profit is Bhagwan. It is mentioned the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Bhagwan. So in this verse, just a minute, I'll just. Okay. So you see, Iti Pradashya Bhagwan. Bhagwan is the same Lord, the personality of Godhead. So Satim Tam Atmano Gatim. So the Lord Himself, who is supreme, none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, showed the path of self-realization to his mother. So we know that we have a definition of Bhagwan by Parashar Muni in his Smriti, that Ashwaryasya Samagrasya Viryasya Yashasho Shriyo Gyan Vairagya Chaivam Sannam Bhagam Mitingana. So Lord has all 6 opulences. Prabhupada, I think I read in some purport, in one purport, he tells very good examples of how Lord manifests his all the 6 opulences. That his fame is manifested by Lord Rama incarnation, his opulence is manifested by Dhanvantari, his power is manifested by Parshuram and even Narsimhadev. Then his beauty is manifested by Balram, Mohini Murti, Vaman Deva. His renunciation is manifested by Narayan Rishi. Whereas his knowledge, that the Gyan part, that he propounds certain philosophies, is adequately propounded by Lord Kapil Deva. Even Kumar, Matsya Avatar, all these are known about Lord's knowledge aspect. So even Lord says in Bhagavad Gita that Mata Smriti Gyanam Apohanam Cha. From Lord only comes all the Gyan. So that's why this first line very clearly tells that the knowledge has been given by the Lord, and there is no reason to doubt it. Because Lord himself is saying it clearly in how he has created this universe, what is the constitution of this universe, how the living entities are bound up by the illusory energy of the Lord, and they are wandering in different modes of life. So we can see so many examples in our Shastras that even in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, when Arjuna was put into delusion and he felt that I cannot fight against my own people, then Lord described the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, wherein he tells very clearly the difference between body and soul. And ultimately, Arjuna came out of it. In first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, last verse, he says that I cannot take up my bow and arrow. With Sarjya Sharam Chapam, and he gives up his arrows and he could not fight. And when the Lord described the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to him, when he clearly tells the actual position of a living entity as a servant of the Lord, then what happens in the 18th verse? We see that Arjuna tells that Nashtomo Smriti Labdha Tvat Prasad Maya Achyuta Sthito Asmi Gata Sande Karishye Vachanatava. So now, oh Krishna, I'll not do as per what you say. Similarly happened with Mother Devahuti. Initially she said that Lord, I've been cheated by your illusionary energy. But when the knowledge was spoken, she said that yes, by your name, everything becomes fine. Similar example we can see in the life of Vyasdeva. Even Vyasdeva was very much unsatisfied. He composed so many Vedic literatures. He composed the Upanishad, 18 Puran and Vedant Sutra. Still, he was not very much satisfied. Then his spiritual master Narad came and he described that you have not said clearly, or you have not described clearly the glorious pastimes of the Lord. That's why you are not satisfied from inside. So in that way, we can see that when a superior authority describes the glories of the devotional service or the actual path, then things become clear to a person. So that is being told by in this verse. So The another next point we can see is that it is mentioned about Atmano Gatim. Iti Pradarshaya Bhagwan Satim Tam Atmano Gatim. So the Atmano Gatim Prabhupada writes that the meaning is the self-realization path, the path of self-realization. So self-realization, the real self, Gita already tells that Dehinasmin Yathadehe Kaumaram Yoganam Jara. So we as living entities have been wandering in this material universe from time immemorial. So the path of self-realization, we should understand what is our actual self. Because we are part and parcel of Krishna, but because we rebelled against his company, we were put in this material world to satisfy our lusty desires. And that's why Lord's external energy covers our eternal servitor consciousness to enjoy consciousness. That's why it is called forgetfulness, apohanam, forgetfulness. So the path of self-realization is the path by which we understand our real position of not the enjoyer. It is only the Lord who is enjoyer, and we are meant to serve him. Bhoktaram yak tapasam sarvalok maheshwaram. That is said in that. So to substantiate it in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that when inspired by Narad Dev, Vyasdev sat down to meditate upon Supreme Lord and describe his glories. What he saw in his meditation was the actual problem. He saw the actual problem why the jivas are suffering. Because we are forgetful of the Lord. Because we have tried to forget the Lord and try to get bodily conscious, we are suffering day in and day out and life after life. It is said that Bhakti Yogena Manasi Samyak Pranihita Male, by Bhakti Yoga and by fixing up his mind on the feet of the Lord, what did he show? Apashyat Purusham Purnam Mayam Chatad Apashrayam. He saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his illusionary energy, which was under full control of the Lord. Lord says in Gita also, Maya Adhakshena Prakriti Suetesa Characharam. So in Vyasdev saw that the Supreme Lord, the Purusham Purnam and Mayam Chadat Apashrayam. Maya was fully under her control. And what was this Maya doing? Yaya Sammohito Jivo Atmanam Trigunatmakam. Paro api manyute anartham tat kritam cha abhipadyet. So he saw that even though jivas are paro, they are beyond this material world. Paro api, they are even though very higher to this bodily conception. Manyute anartham, they believe themselves that we are this body. We have nothing to do with the Supreme Lord Krishna. We are just this body, satisfying our body, satisfying our relatives is the only goal of life. So that was the main role of the Maya energies. Yaya sammohito jivo. And then he even saw the remedy to it. It is said in the following verse that anarthopashamam sakshat bhakti yogam adokshaje lokasya janato vidvam chakre satvatam sanitam. So to bring this forgetful soul out of this ignorance, Vyasdev compiled the great Srimad Bhagavatam, by which one can get acquainted with his real position. So this path of self-realization is again spoken in an analytical way, the Sankhya Yoga by Kapil Dev. And that's what is being told over here. So we see, that we have so many examples in Shastras also. That one example is Dhritarashtra himself. He was so much obsessed with the paternal affection towards his son that he could not take the good advice of his son, of his brother Vidura. And Vidura was telling him, he indicated that those people who are too much attached to their family life, for them, time and death comes in a very imperceptible way and takes away everything. Evam graheshu saktanam pramattanam tadiha avikyata Agyanata Kalam Param Dustaraha. Slowly and slowly, time is taking each and every day out. Ayurharti Vaipumsam Udyan Ashtancha Yannaso. Daily sun is rising, setting, and taking one day out of our life. And we are not awaking to the path of self-realization. So that's why we should take example and we should be very alert to follow what great authorities have given us and how great people have accepted the authorities' verdict and accepted their teachings and have made their life successful. That it is also said in the Shastras that because of too much attraction towards our body, our family, our wife, our kids, We are daily and day out seeing that people are losing their lives. People are coming and leaving their body. But still, we are blind to self-realization. Deha patte kaladridishu. We have seen in the example that because of our attachment to our body, Atmasaneshwa Satsapi, Tesham Pramato Nidhanam, Pashyanapi na Pashyati. We are seeing that so many relatives have died in COVID. So many people have come, they have lost their bodies. But still, we are keeping very tight, we are holding tight to our attachments that this is my son, he will take care of me when I grow old, and this is my bank balance when I am falling sick, this will help me out. So that's what is being told in Bhagavatam and all the verses, that we have to come out of this illusion. We have to take the path of self-realization. And that's what said, Pashyanapi na pashyati. We are seeing, but yet we are not seeing the actual fact. Right? So this was the third point. So for the next point is just I think I sorry. Hare Krishna, am I audible, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Audible, audible.
I think I just a minute. I think I lost the screen.
Do you want me to share too?
Yes, Prabhuji, I think I have some.
I think you
issue.
can, Prabhu. It's still your co-host.
Yeah. Anyhow.
I can, if you want, I can.
I think I'm not able to see the meeting actually. Just a minute. I think I have some issues with. Maybe I'll log in again.
Okay.
Just a minute. Give me 1 minute. Yeah. So third point is, Prabhuji, if you can share the screen that verse, actually I'll just go point by point. So if you can.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So the following point is Anumanto Yayav. The last point we can see. Anumanta is Prabhupada writes took permission, and Yayav means left. So important thing Prabhupada write in this purport is that Lord Kapila, after describing this Sankhya Yoga, he left. He was Lord himself, and there was no need for him to stay in the house, because the purpose for which he advented, the purpose for which he incarnated, he had successfully completed that. He described the Sankhya Yoga to the Mother Devabhuti, and then he left. So that's what Prabhupada also writes in the purport, that some point or the other in our lives, we have to be serious on giving up this attachment, right? Just before now, we have seen that verse in Bhagavatam wherein Vidura tells Dhritarashtra that we have to give up this bodily attachment. Even Shukdev Goswami tells to Parikshit Maharaj, when Parikshit Maharaj has asked 4 questions to Shukdev Goswami at the end of first canto, that what a man should hear, chant, and what should he not hear, not chant at the time of death, and what he should do at time of death. So Shukdev Goswami surprisingly first tells what he shouldn't do. Then he tells what he has to do. What he shouldn't do is Deha Patra Kalat Dridishu and Shrotavadini Rajendra Niram Santi Sash. There are so many points to talk about in mundane gossip, but one should strictly stay away from them and reduce attachment to the family, because they are all Atma Saneshwa Satsapi. They are only for some time. And then he tells what one should do, that Ante Narayan Spriti, Etavan Sankhya Yogyam Swadharma Parinishthaya. So here same thing is being told over here by Prabhupada, that one should try to develop detachment, because if he is not detached from family life, the death will come and take it very cruelly from us, because death shows no mercy. At one time, either we give it up by our own free will, or death will forcibly take it away. So that's why through his example, Lord Kapila Deva is telling us that even though he is in such an exalted position, he is himself the personality of Godhead, but still after his work was over, he took the path of self-realization, even though just for the namesake, because he already is the goal of self-realization, but he left his home. After Karda Muni left, he he put Mother Devahuti under the charge of Kapil Deva so that she could come out of ignorance. But after the job was done, Lord left the home. Similarly, Prabhupada is also urging us that one must be very, very careful of not sticking to the dark well of family life. He quoted in so many lectures that Panchavasho Urdhvam Vanam Vrajet, that after 50 years, we have to somehow leave the home. Leaving the home means that we have to, for people like us who are grihasthas, who are so many commitments and so many work engagements that we are having right now. So after 50 years or 55 years, we have to see to it that we gradually bring down our work commitments. Till the time we do it, we are caught up in all this material consciousness, and the practice has to start somewhere now itself, that we have to gradually come out of this. So even Prahlad Maharaj says that Tat sadhu manne asurvaram dehinam sada samudvignam diham asadgrahat. We are always anxious that whether I'll stay in this job or not, whether a third attack of COVID will come, or my company will get profit or not, or my salary will increase or not. We have so many anxieties. Why? Because dhyam asadgrahat. We are always, infected with impermanent things. And he tells Prahlad Maharaj that hitva atmapatam graha andakupam vanam vrajet yad hari mashre. So he tells that one must give the dark well of family life and vanam vrajet yad hari mashre, that we have to go to forest to take shelter of Hari. Prabhupada translates this, that we should go to Vrindavan and take and fully dedicate ourselves in life, our life, to Krishna consciousness. So that's why Lord shows by his example that we have to get out of it. Lord tells in Bhagavad Gita that the 4 Varnashram have been created by him, Chaturvarna Maya system. So in all the Varnas and all the ashram, it is called ashram because the center of all activities is Krishna. Even Grahastha ashram, Brahmachari ashram, Vanaprastha, it's called ashram. Ashram means that the center is Krishna. So Lord personally tells that he has created this all the Varna ashram, and here is again showing that after enlightening the mother, he left. We can see that the power of instructions of Lord Kapil Deva was so strong that in the coming verse we will see how Mother Devahuti began to execute austerities and ultimately achieved salvation. Whereas if you compare in Bhagavad Gita, Lord was present with Arjuna right throughout, even before he fell into illusion. And even after deliverance of Arjuna and the war of Kurukshetra, Krishna was present with Arjuna all throughout. But here we can see that Lord Kapil Deva just instructed his mother, made her realize the importance of holy name, and immediately he left. And such was the power of instruction that Mother Devahuti could very easily walk the path of devotional service, undertake austerities, and immediately she attained self-realization and went back to Godhead. So that is the path of liberation, and that was the power of teaching of Lord Kapil Deva. So we have so many examples in our Shastras that great authorities never became obsessed with their current position, that, oh, I am now in a well-situated family, I should stay here, or I have such a big kingdom, I should stay here. So we can see in the life of Kartam Muni, just now we have seen that he was a fully realized soul. But because he has been entrusted the job of creation of progeny, he did that and immediately he left. Similarly, Rishabdev, he was such a great king. And with Meru Devi, he had 100 sons, and all of them were so elevated. And again, after that, he immediately left to undertake austerities, and he became he got liberated. Similarly, Maharaj Parikshit, he was cursed by Shringi to die in 7 days. Immediately gave up everything, came to the bank of Ganges, undertook fasting, took instructions from Sukdev Goswami, attained liberation. Similarly, Sukdev Goswami himself, after his birth, he immediately ran to the forest because he was so much elevated. He did not want to corrupt himself by worldly association. So we see all great authorities are so intent and so keen. So we should take lesson from them that we have to somehow or the other, we have to reduce our attachment to all this bodily conception of life. So in this verse, we can see that Prabhupada is so much stressing upon the following of Varnashram system, because if we don't follow the Varnashram system, we have no gati. Lord tells in Padma Puran that Varnashram Achara Vrata Purushena Parapumsam Vishnur Aradhate Pantha Na Anyat Tattosha Karanam, that there is no other way to satisfy Lord Vishnu. except Varnashram Acharya Vrata. We have to follow the Varnashram system because we are so much neck deep in materialism that immediate deliverance might not come. So Lord tells that by following Varnashram system, and that's what is being reiterated by Prabhupada, that we have to be very, very serious on following Varnashram system. If you see, Prabhupada mentions that Brahmachari, Vanaprastha and Sannyasi, they are strictly advised to remain alone. But as a Grihastha, we all are Grihasthas. So we have to be extra cautious. Just like an intelligent thief is one who not only knows how to enter into the house, but he also knows how to exit the house. Simply entering the house is not sufficient. A good thief will know how to exit the house. So we have to take example from a good thief also. That we have entered into the Grihastha life, but gradually we have to inculcate this habit of detachment, and we know how we should come out of it. So Prabhupada is very clear on that, and that's why he is saying that Lord, by his own example, is telling us to follow that. Also, Prabhupada is also saying that to get knowledge about self-realization, we have to rely on parampara system. We have to follow what Mahajans are telling. It is not that by any whimsical way we can concoct something and follow whatever is coming into our mind. So that's why we have to stay in the parampara, take advice from Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. So lastly, we can apply so many these principles in our life that we have to reduce our attachment from all our material, our engagements. That is the most important. And we have to have a lot of faith in our Guru. Mother Devahuti, simply by surrendering to her son, Kapil Deva, she was so much elevated and she got so much enlightenment that she did not require any further motivation, and immediately she got delivered. Yasya deve parabhakti yatha deve tatha guru. It is said that one who considers the spiritual master words as very life and soul, tas seyate prakashante, Tesyeti kathitehi artha prakashante mahatmana. Shvetashvatara Upanishad tells that all the Vedic knowledge will automatically reveal in the heart of such a devotee who takes the words of his spiritual master as his very life and soul. And lastly, very importantly, one shloka is there in Bhagavatam, which I feel is a very, very important shloka. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to put a lot of stress on this shloka from 11th canto, from the teachings of Navayogendra. It is told that Labdhava Sudurlabham Bahu Sambhavanante. We have got this human form of life after so many other lives. So it is told Labdhava Sudurlabham Idam Bahu Sambhavanante. Manusham Anityam Manusham Arthadam Anityam Api Dhiraha. Tunyatet Na Patet Anu Mrityu Yavan Nisheshaya Khalu Sarvatra Vishaya Khalu Sarvatra Sat. We have got this life after so many births, but an intelligent person, he will not waste a single moment of time and immediately take the path of self-realization, whereas the path of sense gratification is available in all the species of life. So I would like to end here, and thank you very much for your patient hearing. If I have committed any mistake, please forgive me. And if any suggestions or any comments, please do show your mercy to me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. We did not know how fast the time gone. Such a wonderful class, Prabhu. More than the speaking, the slokas are flowing like anything, Prabhu. You remember so many slokas. Amazing, Prabhu.
Srila Prabhupada is great.
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, the Lord Kapil Dev, he left home means he left the pastime, or further he continued pastime?
No, I mean, as what is mentioned in Bhagavatam, as I could understand that he left, and actually it is mentioned that he went to some sacred place, and even today he's undertaking austerities, and he's even today meditating at that place. I think somewhere near Badrikashram or something. It is given in the following subsequent verse. It will come in the same chapter. It is going to come that he went to certain place. I forgot the name, and still there he is undertaking austerities and meditation, just like Narayan Rishi and even Vyasdev is there. So these great authorities still are there.
Okay, thank you so much. And Mother Devagudi requested when Kadamani went to give the fearlessness that really impressed. for all of us in the material world, the fear is the one chasing us in one or other fear. But Srimad Bhagavatam, when we get in proper,
Jara Marana Bayam, Jara Marana Bayam.
it's that is also that one of the baya, Prabhu. So many bayas.
Yes.
And one more thing, Prabhu.
Losing the job.
In your profile, you said that we baffled by the this thing and to get the peace and spiritual relief. So, being a doctor, Prabhu, in this material world, we see the doctors as the most authentic people who, most of the doctors negate the spiritual things. They say, some of the doctors say, yes, I did my part, then the Lord will take care. But most of the be scientific like that, don't go like this. But being a doctor, just for our the conviction about the philosophy, Prabhu.
One,
See, what I have, I mean, this question has been asked to me by so many people, and I have the same answer. That Lord gives us indication day in and day out. Some people will accept it, some people will not accept it. Even people in our fraternity, I mean, many of them are struggling. I mean, mentally. By professionally, everybody will struggle, but mentally, everybody is under a lot of stress. So, Lord, some point or the other, He will show a path to us that you have been struggling so badly for so many years. This is the path. How we accept this is up to us. The Lord is giving us indication, as Paramatma is giving indication that now it happened to me. I mean, it's a very dramatic story. I mean, 2018 February, I had some very bad experience. I was shaken from inside, and then I began to realize that why am I suffering? What am I doing? I had some very bad experience, and ultimately, by Lord's mercy and by devotees' mercy, I came to Krishna consciousness. So, I mean, yeah, people in our fraternity also, they are having so many problems, but I mean, what to say? They are not very much keen on it. So usually they are so much in materialism that it is very difficult to convince. But they will realize that they have been suffering, they are in problem, but not many people will accept the path of Krishna consciousness. So at best, what I do is I try to introduce this concept and leave it to Lord's sweet will, whether they will accept it or not.
Thank you,
Prabhu,
Prabhu.
are you a doctor by profession?
Prabhuji, yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
He's a
Okay,
surgeon.
I didn't hear. Actually, what happened, Prabhupada was in USA in 1971. So there was a major heart attack, one of the devotees, and the doctor made 2 hours and surgery and made it okay. He told, I want to ask one question to your Guru Maharaj, that you people say Krishna, you are in Krishna consciousness. Why did you come running to me? Because I only saved. So Sri Prabhupada said, I want to ask you one question. You saved. I want to ask one question, that in your hospital, is anybody dying? Many people die also, 50% die. Why? That is their, it is only because of their karma, he told. And the doctor name was Verma. He told, when they are dying, you say their karma. No, God, they saved, you're telling Verma. It is also karma. It is not you. Krishna wanted him to wear. So, no, never karma, no, never Verma comes, only karma only comes. So, he said, I accept you. From today, I will write in my hospital, all the operations I am not doing, Krishna is doing. So, please, I am just an instrument, so chant and then. So, Krishna Prem Prabhu, whenever you do operation in Radhanath Maharaj Bhaktivedanta Hospital, 99 operations he saved actually in the first year out of 100. And all of them became devotees, including Muslims also. He used to give them prasadam and chanting. So it's a good thing. So you came to Krishna consciousness, you got a very good chance to make many others. And the way you speak, you are very confident. Prabhu was telling, he's a very intelligent, so you are very deeply, you already done your Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav you are doing. So you are going to really touch many souls. You will be delivering many in this life. I'm sure you will do it.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Any other questions?
You are from which place, Prabhu? You are from which place?
In Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh, Prabhuji.
Oh, so you are a Brajvasi, Uttar Pradesh.
Not likely.
लेकिन आपका बहुत भाव बहुत अच्छा है आपका बहुत बढ़िया लगा. You went so much deep about Devahuti, about Kapil Dev, and you really analyze each and every point. about the
Yeah.
why you told about job, losing job. Everywhere there's fear. No, what will happen?
Thank
And
you.
we always sing Kast Sankat Mite, Jai Jagadish Hare, Swami Jai Jagadish Hare. जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे, ये दे वो दे. So people are just not knowing what to ask to Krishna. Once one devotee was in Vrindavan, he was doing 192 rounds and he got cancer and he got saved in 3 months. So one person came and said, आप इस्कॉन वाले इतना चैन करके कैंसर को निकाल देता है. He said, कैंसर के लिए हम लोग चैन नहीं करते हैं, because chanting is Brahmastra. Will I use Brahmastra for cancer? It's like a mosquito. I will not kill mosquito with Brahmastra. Brahmastra is to take us from this place to that place. That is what the Brahmastra.
Yes,
So he
Prabhu.
made it so simple. Thank you, Prabhu. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Abana, you come again. But today I could not. My daughter had come and I could not just go on and off. But थोड़ा आपका सुना तो पता चला आपका roots बहुत strong है. Whenever Rameswar Prabhu says, it's always goes on the top. VS
Correct.
Prabhu, anything you want to ask or any?
Anilanand Prabhu.
Dandasana, Prabhuji.
Harish.
Wonderful class, tremendous flow. You covered a lot of things.
Talia, Talia. आज बहुत
One
कम
thing
लोग
I
हैं.
wanted to ask, you told one thing about that
हाँ.
as we approach old age, we have a tendency to accumulate some money for our old age as some sort of mental security. Even though we know it is futile, but still we cannot help it. No, I mean, so long till we live, we require something to fall back upon like that. Or so you take some medical insurance for our ill health or something. So, do you think, of course, going to Krishna consciousness, ultimately, we have to surrender there and do it. But how to overcome this tendency? Or do you think we should both do concurrently both?
A good question.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, Prabhu, I feel, yeah, as a human being, we have a tendency to live adequate for our old age and plan our, old age together. In a proper way. We have insurance and everything in place. But then, even I've seen, Prabhu, that even those people who have the best insurance and who have got the, good financial assets, they are actually leaving their body in a very dismal way and very in a troublesome way. So I think that's okay. If we are doing that, that's okay. But then our consciousness should be engaged. Definitely we have everything in backup. But even at time of distress or in bodily discomfort, we should try to remember as far as possible Krishna. And this will happen only when we are practicing good,
Yes.
solid sadhana, right? So that's okay. We will be able to take care of our medical bills and everything. That will be okay. But that will take care of the body. But what happens to our soul? That soul will get
Jai.
only when we have, that consciousness in our mind. That even we can see so many examples in the Shastras that Lord says that yes, I am anugranami harishyat tad dhanam shanay. Because even if I am very much merciful to somebody, I will take all his wealth. So the Lord is at time of distress, how nicely you are calling. Draupadi was under so much distress, but then when she called, Lord appeared. Gajendra was under distress, he called, Lord appeared. So the Lord will see that sincere feeling. Whatever assets we may have, that will take care of the body. But then somewhere we have to be very deeply trying to build up our roots, that we are engaging our consciousness in Krishna.
Super point.
Thank you, Prabhu. Super.
Fantastic, Prabhu. You come again, Prabhu. We'll call
Yeah.
many people today.
Maybe after 1 month, I will request Prabhu.
Yeah.
Anilanand, on final comments, Anilanand Prabhu.
Final, yes.
Haribol, Prabhuji.
Expert comments, Prabhu. Expert comments. Wait kar rahe aapka.
No, not expert comment. Haribol, Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam. It was very, very nice to hear your class. As our other Prabhujis have already expressed their very loving words for you. Definitely, your commitment is fantastic, commendable. I have to, and if I may say, we all have to learn from you in terms of this diving into the, the real highway. We all
There are two,
Yes.
three very nice words you have used. One is self-realization, one is self-gratification.
Yeah.
Self-gratification, because of which we are everything. I'm the body. It's very heavily focused on the body. So V.S. Narayan's Prabhu's question that whatever we do for SS, taking care, etc., it is fine. It happens more because we are more attached to the body. The lesser we get attached to the body, we will subconsciously give importance to it, but our dependence will be only on our Guru and Krishna.
Krishna.
So while we are living in this material world, um, and in relation to the body consciousness we have, we will be following all these worldly methods of protecting our bodies and our next generation. It is fine. Lord nowhere says we should not do it. Okay. However, Lord is insisting again and again that your dependence should be on me. And the mind and intelligence, which is mostly bewildered only, and Lord is again and again instructing us, do not depend on the mind and intelligence. And very nice sloka, tasmat sarveshu kaleshu, ma manusmara yuddhacha, maya arpit manobuddhir mam evasya asamshay. So without any doubt, your mind and intelligence, by surrendering your mind and intelligence to me. So he is telling again and again the same thing to us. So our efforts to realize our relationship with the Lord, all this process which we are undergoing by the mercy of the Guru and the devotees, fantastic. It is 2018, as you said. You got you have written nicely, baffled by the prosperity and the trauma of the life, you have got into this. So in a way, it is a mercy. And unless we strike this mercy, unless we strike, I just say you are shaken from inside. Unless you are shaken from inside, you will not take this road. Yeah. The Maya is so strong. How plainly God has instruction to us that it is extremely difficult for us to cross over this ocean of nescience without my assistance. Insistence there is in me, without me and my devotees. Okay. So there are other two nice words we used was when you consider Guru's instructions and life and soul of you, I think everything gets solved. So these two are very, very nectarious words, life and soul. You consider Guru's instructions. Full stop. Guru told you this. That's all. 2, 3, 4 sentences, full stop. When our mind ponders and bewildered intelligence starts questioning on why, how, if, so, what, everywhere, we invite a lot of challenges in our life. So we have seen many devotees in their life, very simple, in various yugas, in spite of being wealthy or, in various states, they were never baffled by the state in which they were put. In spite of time, situation, and circumstances they were placed in, whether it is Sudama or whether it is Kuntimata or it is Bhishmadev or many, many stalwart devotees. The wealth or this never baffled them. Their dependence on Krishna was never shaken. In fact, became stronger and stronger with the wealth around you. Or in fact, even the very, very, I will say, ordinary living around you. You are either very poor, or you can say even you are poverty stricken. And then it was like, so fantastic class, Prabhuji. It was very nice. You have inspired us, to love our Guru and his instructions as life and soul. That is the really great takeaway for me. My Guru's instructions to me has to be observed like, what shall I say?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Sometimes
Thank
you are
you.
short of words.
Thank you.
Unflinching faith, you can
Yeah.
say. Haribol, Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam, Prabhuji.
I can see a very bright future, Shweta Prabhu, आपका. Spiritual life में बहुत आपका है. You're going to, I do some little face reading. आपका बहुत चमक रहा है. You're
All
going
by
to touch
your association. Thank you so much. For
many people. You will bring you to Krishna consciousness.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, the
So,
last, towards the last class, moment you mentioned about 11th canto, one verse, no, Prabhu? Can you tell me the verse number? 11?
Yes, Prabhuji, I think it is 11th canto. Just a minute, I think I have somewhere mentioned. It is 11.9.29.
Thank you, Prabhu.
It is very important verse, and I think we all must try to imbibe it, because Prabhupada in his lecture, Bhakti Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, all these are, I mean, this verse tells us how rarely we have got this human form of life, and we should not waste any time. Labhva sudurlabham idam bahu sambhavanante. It's very, very important.
Ah,
Hmm. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. And we humbly requesting you to come and enlighten us in once in a month at least.
Sure, Prabhuji, as per your command, is your service is my order. My order. Sir.
Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Very
Prabhu.
good. Thank you, Prabhu.
Kalpadrupyascha kripasindhubhyo
Yo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha.
Anandakodi Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
jai.
His Grace Shaitwa Rao Prabhu ki jai.
Jai ho!
Okay.
Gauranga,
Nityananda.
Nityananda,
Gauranga.
Nityananda, Gauranga,
Gauranga.
Gauranga, Nityananda.
Nityananda.
जय जय श्री राधे श्याम
हाँ,
सबको मिले
श्याम।
वृंदावन धाम
हाँ,
श्री गोवर्धन गिरिलाल
वृंदावन
की
धाम।
जय हो
जय।
पुरुषोत्तम की जय हो।